You think I should
You'd be
get on
so
T?
big if you started, dude. If you started testosterone right now, you would turn it. You would look like Dave Bautista. And if you, I'm not even kidding.
Women love Dave Bautista.
I'm talking about you be that big. You wouldn't turn into an ugly old man.
The Cabbage Patch head.
The butt from Guardians of the Galaxy where he's blue
I'm saying
with like
you would be
tattoos
like
all over.
You would be pro athlete big. You would be pro athlete yoked. Don't show his face.
Yeah.
Dude, he looks like
because his head looks like a penis, so they love
he
that.
looks like if you cast a spell to turn a Lego man into a person.
It's like Mr. Potato Head came to life. Look, all right, he's 50 something. He's 54.
He looks like Slender Man on steroids.
He's
there.
Looking
You
good
go.
there.
You could literally look like that in a year with testosterone. I'm not
Holy
no exaggeration
traps.
at all.
That's some
Like you would be
aggressive
that big in a
bicep
year
veins.
because you're
Like
already very big.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I feel like I've got some natural potential to unlock just with having a good diet. But maybe eventually I'll get
Always
on
with the natural potential.
Kyle, don't you think that much muscle would like actually hurt you in the dating scene?
Well, I wouldn't suggest that he, maybe go this far because I think like the prime body is more, isn't that big. But I'm just saying, I know Taylor would like to be colossal.
It would be
because he's
fun
into that sort of thing.
And also, like,
And,
think
you
of
go
all the
back from being
compliments
colossal.
from guys. You'd just be getting compliments from guys when you get that big. Because a woman isn't looking at that. She doesn't look at Dave Bautista and go, look at the countless hours to build those arms and pecs and everything. But a guy does, and he's like wanting to come over and talk to you at the gym.
Motorcycles
doesn't
do
happen
that
because
too.
I'm home gym master race. But
You go to the gas station to fill up your bike, guys always want to talk to you. It happens every time.
Yeah.
that's how a lot of
for
that
sure.
stuff goes.
Lots of things are like that. And that's okay though, because I like when guys come up too, and they're like, oh, what is this? What is that? It's like, finally somebody I can talk to that actually appreciates this thing that I like. It's nice to find somebody who appreciates cool shit too. And then suck their dicks, at a Denny's or something. And
I was gonna say, I like anal sex.
you go in the bathroom, you come out. Who's to say what happened in there?
You are.
You'll
always know.
Motorcycle trip. I'm
Can't
looking to
forget.
use the bathroom. I knock on the door at the gas station. It's busy, right? Can't get in. All right, fine. I just work my way through the aisles, like pretending to shop as I wait for the bathroom to empty. And then two guys come out. And I go in there, and the soap dispenser has spilled soap all over the floor. I'm sure they were using it as lube. And I'm like, and they looked at me like as they came out, because I was like right there. And I'm pretty sure
Who uses soap?
Why did they
as
look at
lube?
you like that? What was
I
that
think-
part?
sort of like he's about to figure out what
That
just
post-orgasm
happened, just
glow.
went down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn,
maybe
so
they were
that's
like
pretty
having
fucking
rough
rude.
sex and they broke the soap dispenser because I just don't think soap makes a very good lubricant at all.
Well, what else in the gas station bathroom are you gonna get your jollies
If
off?
you're showing up for gas station anal, you're bringing your own lube.
That's true, and I bet the kind of people who are having anal sex in the gas station bathroom would probably just steal the lube that they have there next to like the cold medicine.
Are we talking about borax kind of soap in the gas station?
No, it was like
Powder
a
stuff in high school.
it was a liquid hand soap. Like
That
with
stuff is slippery as shit.
Yeah, you
No,
guys
it
are talking it
definitely-
as lube.
It burns.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I bet it would. Yeah, but
Probably
It's his
antibacterial
asshole.
too.
you know what burns more? Anal sex with no lube.
Yeah, and you're like at Quick Trip. Actually, I'm not even going to give it that much credit. There's no way this was as nice as Quick Trip.
No, it was no name gas station.
I learned recently that all of our friends, my girlfriend told me she went to a hairdresser who's a friend of ours, and she said, "Yeah, I got to. Can I tell you something really weird? When we were at your place for that 4th of July party, there was a bottle of dish soap in your bathroom, in your master bathroom. We went in there for some reason, and there's a bottle of dish soap in there. What was that all about?" And she goes, I don't know. That must be my boyfriend's. I'll ask him. So she comes home and says, "Oh, I have something weird to ask you. Apparently you had some bottle of soap in the bathroom. And I'm like, yeah, it was to clean the dog throw up off the rug. Like I brought that down there with a bunch of, so everybody has been secretly gossiping since July 4th about the bottle of dish soap, thinking that I'm doing weird ass stuff in the bathroom.
With dish soap?
With
You're getting
dish
the
soap.
palm olive. You're getting the palm
Yes.
olive out and like sticking that weird nozzle that's like no other nozzle in the world up your ass.
Yeah, this was the most likely
Little green apple soap.
Little green
conclusion. Not that there
fuck
was
outta
some
here.
kind of horrible spill or something that needed soap, but that I was shoving shit up my ass.
Man, you're
so
What a bunch
much.
of
Need to get-
losers.
need to get
You
their
know
mind
what?
out the
Those
gutter.
people need something to talk about other than, you know, in their own fucking lives. They come over to your life and they just see some fucking palm olive on the floor and write a whole
Disrespectful.
fucking narrative about it.
I'm on their side. I still have my suspicions about what Dick does with the soap.
Yeah, no, I know. I texted him right away. I said, yeah, it was for cleaning up dog throw up. I'm like, well, that must be a lot of throw up.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it is. It was.
Well, the dish soap is there as a ruse to keep you from noticing the dildo suction cups to the side of the shower.
Yeah.
It smells clean in here.
Those two things work in concert.
getting away with it. Yeah, that's. I would not assume if I walked in and saw someone had Dawn dish soap in their bathroom, I would just assume something negative about their hygiene. Like I wouldn't assume anything.
I like
about
cleaning
anal sex.
dishes in the bathroom. I don't want to take
I
them
sometimes
upstairs.
keep dish soap
Like
in our
Kramer?
bathroom, and I would have assumed it was for the same reason. It is that if I work on motors and stuff and my hands get greasy and oily, regular soap doesn't cut grease like dish soap does. I don't understand how soaps really work, but Dawn palm olive, like it gets grease and oil off your hands.
Yeah, that's why they use it on the ducks for for spills and shit. Although I think once they get a certain amount of oil on them, like no amount of scrubbing that off is like you can take Dawn all day, but like it burns their feathers away before you can like wipe it off. You know, like it
You think so?
burns them all out. Yeah, you can't just cover an animal in oil and be like, I'll get back to you. Like
I always
it's
thought that
going
was
to
a
die.
Huge. Like there's. I couldn't see myself on that beach scrubbing a fucking duck. You know.
Oh, absolutely
Like,
not. I'm
really?
not going to help. Yeah.
Jesus.
Birds are
Christ.
assholes. Maybe a seal. I'd scrub a seal.
I'd
Yeah.
scrub a
No,
seal.
they have the entire ocean, and
What?
they're swimming into oil.
So
That
it's
was their beach. They lived there on that beach and it got oiled up.
Oh no, the one beach in the ocean. Like
You
they,
said
they can't just bop
like
down
the
a mile.
Exxon Valdez drops 144 million barrels of oil into a harbor, and Taylor's like, "You should have been in South America, you fuck."
Yeah, swim. Hey,
can
what's this?
smell it?
Ah, it burns. Turn around. Swim away. They need to just allow steroids in the UFC. Is there an argument in favor of that? Is anyone taking that man?
I think
Well, you
most
could go
people
look at-
think that if the sports involved hurting each other, performance enhancing drugs are a bad idea.
Where's Vitor fighting
Go
now?
for it.
Where's he at
He's
now?
still fighting? Is he in bare
He's
knuckle?
he's TRT again. He's
Oh,
huge.
TRT
But
tour or whatever
the
they call
reason
them.
the reason I'm asking is because and Oberheim too. He's still fighting and he looks huge again. So wherever those guys are, they don't test. So nobody tests like UFC. That USADA thing is. I'm sure you've heard that. It's an acronym, right?
Yes.
They're real deal. They supposedly they catch a lot of people.
Nobody's perfect. They're the best there is.
Exactly. I am of the mind, and I bet Derek would co-sign this if he were here, that if you've got enough money, you're never catching me. If you've got a chemist who's smart and enough money, they're never going to catch you. What they might do is if your chemist is dumb and you don't pay them enough, he might have a bigger clientele base than he should. And then somebody's shit gets tested 30 years from now. Oh yeah, we froze that guy's pee. And 30 years from now, they'll be able to like test for what they're popping for. But if they're making designer drugs that are meant to get around the test, like they've already got the test, now they just got to beat it. That's a good position to be in if you're some sort of genius chemist with unlimited funds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think so.
My understanding is, although the genius chemist is something I've heard before, when I hear the fighters talking about dodging USADA, they talk about the travel schedule. They're like, yeah, you go train in Thailand, you go train in whatever, somewhere else it's a pain in the ass to get to, and the testers don't find you.
Yeah, I wonder. from the outside looking in, I think the two most important things for if you were cheating, the performance enhancing substance you'd want something that's for recovery and healing, both for those nagging injuries between fight camps, but to have a good fight camp, to be able to get in. If you can do wrestling 5 more times in that 6 weeks than the other guy, because you just heal up a little better and you can get in another practice, you can get in those extra reps or whatever and get a little bit sharper, and then still have that cardio and that edge when you get there. That EPO stuff that Dillashaw was using, massive. That's the other one. Like having more cardio than you should is huge too.
I agree with everything you said. There are some steroids that help you retain muscle while you're in a calorie deficit. It seems
all
like
steroids, more or less. Testosterone is great at that. Like that's one of the things. Like,
so the one that starts with an A that's all about retaining muscle while in a calorie deficit.
Anavar, also known as oxandrolone, is in like an oral steroid that mostly ladies do. But I don't think that'll help you with strength. That'll help you with recovery. Not necessarily with it'd be like a plateau buster more than anything.
Oh,
but
then
just
I must be
having
thinking of the wrong thing. Anyway,
but just having the enhanced testosterone when you go into a cut, when your body will hang on to that muscle a lot better than it normally would, because if you start starving your body, it starts burning that muscle for. I guess it's easier to burn than fat. I guess. But
I don't know. It's more precious.
It's so much more precious. You can buy fat so easy, so much.
You can have my fat.
Yeah. Oh man. If you could convince your body to like do things like that, like if you had a button right here on your wrist and you could be like, man, let's lower that cholesterol. You're being silly. If you could just dial that stuff in.
How much would you pay to have someone lose a pound for you? Now, you are good at losing weight, so that's not a problem. But there are people who aren't good at losing weight. Do you think like Elon Musk right now would pay $100,000 a pound?
Yeah.
He needs to lose 40 pounds.
He'd pay $1 million a pound.
Maybe he would. Yeah.
You take 40 million off. 40 million would be no big deal to him, cash money, and a huge deal to him physically, because he has that weird body that looks like a tinier human being is piloting him from the inside.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like he has a smaller man in his
differently.
ribcage.
I don't think I've seen a male who stores
the worst
fat
I've ever
as
seen.
badly as him.
Yeah, worst. He looks like you know how like different kinds of animators
Can you
have
find
their
a picture,
styles.
Zach?
Like it looks like somebody's weird style of animation where like they're all upper body and then like stick legs. Like
well, I've never seen someone whose rib
some...
cage is wider than their shoulders.
Yeah, he's like a joke of a
I'm close to that.
Yeah. No, you are not.
I have a weirdly large rib cage, and it makes me look fat. It's not fair. Like sometimes my t-shirts hang on my rib cage, and then they're just loose underneath it. And it's like, no, it should tighten. It should. Look how. Oh my gosh, that's
you
so
look
bad.
nothing like that.
That's not even
that
the
bad.
worst picture.
He's
That's not that bad.
He's totally.
I'm gonna say this. This is all right. So like, look at the perimeter here. I think he's got a good outline. He just needs to lose some fat, because like his shoulders and arms and like his upper chest and all that looks great. He's just like 30 pounds overweight.
I think he lacks chest muscle.
It's hard to tell because there's so much fat.
And he's so like washed out right now because
it's
he's
weird
pale
that
as everything.
It looks like he's got traps and like arms and stuff. It's
I'm almost seeing. Am I seeing a hint of abs in that massive belly?
You can like see where they are because of like the muscle.
Zach, enhance.
Enhance, Zach. Do the thing. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Jesus. Yeah, the magnifying thing. Enhance.
His nipples are hard.
He has pretty good nipples, I think. All nipples look good when they're hard.
Again,
but he doesn't have like giant dish plates or anything.
Again, I want to go into that nipple. Like this is magic fucking school bus, and we're going in Elon's nipple to find out what's wrong with him.
Honestly, that photo, that was way better than the other photo of him shirtless. I think Kyle showed us the one where he looks ridiculously proportioned. That one,
looking to the left,
he looks normally proportioned. He just looks overweight.
Yeah.
But you're right. In that one, he looks like if he lost some weight, he would, quickly start looking much, much better.
I'm on a subreddit called Progress Pics. And it's guys and girls, and they show their progress. Some guys have added muscle. A lot of people have lost fat. Oh yeah, he's just that's a lot of body.
Yeah,
I bet he's heavy. Like he just
dense.
There's so much man there. Like
it's powerful.
Yeah.
From that, like above his bathing suit to below his neck is. There are people who don't have that much volume.
It's like Danny DeVito's chest.
He's almost angelic. He's almost angelic the way light bounces off of him. You see that? Like he almost gives off an aura of majesty.
Got a little calf definition considering his toes
those
not
calves,
pointed.
Please.
They're doing work.
Those calves, don't get me started on those calves.
But I was starting to say, in the progress pic subreddit, I see these before and afters. And sometimes I see women who weigh a lot and look decent. It's like your before picture at 172 looked pretty good. Like where did you put all that fat? You're only 5'7". You weighed 172 and you looked okay.
Yeah.
And then of course the after they weigh like 132 and they look amazing at that weight.
And Woody's in the comments like, boo! Boo! Bring back the thickness.
Yeah. And women, body fat distribution, like some of them are just gifted that they can carry some fat and look good, and some of them are not.
Yeah, everybody's like that.
What is
Liver
Andy?
King? Liver King has been busted.
yeah. Good call.
So if people don't know who the Liver King is, he is one of the most influential influencers, I would say. Like when I think of fitness influencers, there's not many bigger than the Liver King.
Yeah.
And he purports to live this lifestyle where he like eats only meat and he sells his supplements and basically says, if you work out, buy my shit, you can look like me. This is possible. I'm all natural. And if anybody looking at this guy with half a brain cell knows he's not natural, knows that he's on performance enhancing drugs. But he maintains that he's not. And of course, everyone takes this, what about the children? Like, of course, I'm not stupid enough to believe it, but kids are. Kids will buy your supplements. I've been hearing that a lot. This is this guy. One, those are ab implants.
That's what his liver looks like now.
Are you sure they're ab implants?
The internet said they are. Like okay. Derek says they're ab implants, if I recall.
That's enough for me.
Yeah.
If Derek says that I trust.
Dude, so right there, he looks like he might be flexing and in his best shape, right? I have seen this guy's abs not flexing. I have seen his abs in my own personal, like, disastrous position, which is, say, like, on the toilet leaning forward. You know, like, he's in that posture.
Yeah.
Still awesome abs. On, like, in that sort of leaning forward, hunched forward thing. His abs look great. And it's like, those are implants. That's what they are.
What kind of liver is that? Like a fucking, like,
it's gotta be like
buffalo?
A beef liver.
Dinosaur?
No, there's no way a cow's liver's that big. That's like a buffalo.
It's huge. Anyway, apparently he spends $12,000 a month on performance enhancing drugs.
All right,
Jesus
so that
Christ.
number is probably wrong. Like.
Are you telling me the internet is wrong?
Yeah,
the internet.
I think that I don't know quite enough to 100% debunk that, but I would love to hear Derek's take on. Well, I mean, yeah, $12,000 if you were a dummy. And
by the way, Derek's the one that exposed him. Somehow Derek got his shopping list.
Okay,
I did see that.
That was Derek. Yes. All right. Well, I guess that if he's paying for, I guess it's pharma grade human growth hormone, and I guess that's why I thought that you could buy human growth hormone like in a sketchy place. That's the thing. He's buying it through a doctor. That's what this proof is all about. He's using a doctor. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't like. I'm aware that testosterone is inexpensive, but I don't know what all that other shit costs. Like what are the other drugs? Like I know Tren. Everyone knows about Tren, but there's one that starts with an A. He was on a cocktail of shit.
Do you have the screenshot? Because the one I saw had the fronts of the words all cut off. So I had to like put together the things that I'm like aware of and I know of. But I don't know like the nitty gritty costs of individual. I know that human growth hormone is very expensive if you go through the doctor and shockingly inexpensive if you were to like get it somewhere else somehow.
So IGF-1LR CJC with IMAP. Ibutamorin, Omnitrope, Test CYP 6 cc's per week, Deca 6 cc's per week, Winstrol 50 milligrams a day. This seems like a lot.
So the steroids, the ones that I know about, is the testosterone cypionate, the 0.6 cc's a week. I'm gonna be bad at doing this math, but is that fucking 1,200 milligrams a week?
I don't know.
So that's like, I'm stoned right now. So forgive me if my math's wrong. Of testosterone.
Those bottom three are steroids.
Yeah, decadurabolin, I would assume, and then Winstrol is like a
and test.
Winstrol is another steroid.
The top four, I don't really know what they are.
It's an oral that he's taking a lot of. Oh my goodness.
He mentions in his email here 16 vials a month. So that is going to be roughly 69.6 international units of recombinant human growth hormone per week, which is roughly 10 international units per day, which is like a fucking really, really high, super expensive dosage that, to be honest, I know bodybuilders who compete in the Open Mr. Olympia who use less pharma grade GH than that. That's what how high of a dose that actually is, Derek said.
Yeah. So there's some guys who are like real open about how much HGH they've used or use. And you hear like, oh yeah, like this far during prep time, right before the event, I usually do 1 IU a day, but I step it on up to 2.5. And it's like 3 or 4. Yeah, this guy was doing 5 and he was breaking into 2.5 twice a day. It's wild. He's doing 10 a day over there. I don't know what that other stuff is between the what I call the testosterone and the human growth hormone. I don't know what that stuff is. I don't know. Omnitrope sounds familiar, but I don't know what the fuck that is.
Anyway, yeah. So apparently, I almost feel bad for him. Sure, he's been scamming people that his physique is achievable with just liver and good eating, and a lot of the shit he says are like, he has good philosophies. If you followed his advice, you'd be okay.
Yeah.
Your expectations would just be wrong, thinking you could look anything like him.
Yeah.
But I still feel bad for him somehow.
I feel bad for him because I think that he's like, remember that episode of Rick and Morty when it turns out that guy tries to child molest Morty, and instead of exposing him when they like go through his stuff, they let the legend live on because he's dead now and he was a hero to so many people. It's like that.
So you want to let him kind of remain being the... No, I know exactly what you're talking about. That like Jelly Bean who wanted to rape Morty, and then they're like, we'll keep him as he was. It's better to let the people look up to a hero than to know the villain he became, or whatever the fuck is said. But like,
he's there to stand and be an example. And it doesn't matter if nobody's ever going to look like him because you're not going to be him. But if you strove to be like him eating liver, you'd look amazing. You'd look really fucking good. You'd be like, you know what? I don't look like the Liver King. Probably a good thing because he's gross. I do look good though, and I'm getting pussy now. Like that's what would actually happen. But instead, but now you've got an excuse. Now you've got an excuse to quit anybody who was on the edge because they're like, see, you can't. It's not even worth trying. You see what it takes to win? It takes $12,000 a month to win. Like fuck that. Get out of here. I'm gonna sit on the couch.
It is. I don't like that. You have to also look, and I didn't know much about the guy. I'm just on his website looking at his.
It doesn't, by the way. It takes like a couple hundred.
I'm looking at his 9 ancestral tenets of sleep, eat, move, shield, connect, cold, sun, fight, bond, and like his whole shtick apparently is like live like the ancient, live like the primordial man, like run around your yard and yell at animals, like do whatever you want to do, like bond with people, connect, what is it? Cold and then sun, not cold and heat, cold and sun. And like, he's instructing people to do all this with the tacit and overt claim that this is what I do. Be natural. Be like a man running around the Serengeti trying to get a fucking zebra. Like, that's who I am. Do this. And it's like a total lie. It's 100, like, and every time, every show he went on, every syllable out of his mouth, every time he was asked, you're natural, this and that, shameless lie. A lie, by the way, that anyone who's ever lifted a weight in their life and is male can look at and go, you are lying. And so he's not hitting people like us who are going to get swallowed into this because we've all lifted weights enough to know this guy's a fucking douche. And so he's really just taking advantage of people who are trying to get into this. And so those are the kind of people who are going to get discouraged by a reveal, like, and be like, oh, the whole thing was trash. So he was eating McDonald's and po' boys and, you know, crab boils all day, you know, in secret. And he could have been doing that as much as he wanted because he'd still look the same.
No, there's nothing that like, if that guy was eating,
he's eating his liver, but the whole, it's a fucking lie. It's not like he lied to hundreds of people's faces. Obviously, imagine me like wearing this shirt and you're like, so Taylor, it's so interesting. Like, so you're all about wearing gray shirts. And I'm like, yeah. And then like the shirt wasn't gray the whole time. Like, you can see it's green. I know it's green. It's a green shirt, but I insist you refer to it as gray, and I maintain that it is gray.
He's definitely working crazy hard though.
Of course, but it's a lie.
Oh, it's total. I mean, unless you want to, not anymore. Now we know that. Here, that's
it's
one way
taking advantage of people with a lie.
Well, now that we know the truth, you do know that is attainable without having to eat all that nasty liver and make friends with strangers, folks.
He might have eaten the liver, though.
That's one way to look at it. You know, all you need
I'm confused. First of all, what? Making friends with strangers was part of his thing?
I think he was.
That must be Connect.
Let's
see what Connect is. Let's research the ancestral tenets.
He had a whole philosophy.
Oh, no way.
Okay. And I'm guessing that like tenets of it were meant to boost your testosterone. When I hear running, if he wants you to run around and chase animals, I'm thinking that like there's this weird studies where like doing certain things boost your testosterone. Like if you're having more sex, if you're around more like women, if you're around more attractive women, your testosterone will just go up. You do more squats, your testosterone goes up, and like, you know, you do enough of those things. Maybe if he had a whole like list of them and he had these poor assholes jumping through hoops, and meanwhile he's sticking over half a gram in his ass / arm every week.
Yeah. I mean, and like, here's the kind of tenets we're looking at here. I just clicked Connect. I haven't read any of the other ones, but there's whole paragraphs on it. The 5th ancestral tenet is Connect. Our early ancestors were in constant contact with the earth, 24/7, 365. The earth has a slightly negative charge, which provides a grounding force for our electrophysiology. With the advent of rubber shoes, cars, houses, and elevated beds, we no longer come into contact with this grounding force. Think about it. When was the last time you had your bare feet planted on the earth for any real duration? The benefits of connecting to the earth include better sleep, improved blood pressure, and anti-inflammatory and protection against EMFs. All you have to do is take your shoes off and put your bare feet directly on the earth, or hug a tree and pin 10 things a day.
Why can't you just get one of those bracelets that you have to wear when you put a PC together? Just fucking ground yourself all the time. Like, yeah, I got work to do. I'm not taking my shoes off.
Okay, do you see what I'm saying now? Pinning all of this shit and then telling people to take their shoes off?
Yeah, he's trying to be a what do you call him? Not a
like, that's what it is.
He's got like
me? Take your shoes off, idiot! Like, like, come on, how can you not be insulted? What's shield? Let's see what shield is. The 4th ancestral tenet is shield, because we need to avoid dangers just like our early ancestors did. But instead of running from lions, nowadays we run from seed oils, excessive Wi-Fi, EMFs, and man-made poisons. Dangers like these end up
I didn't know
compounding with an additive effect. They disrupt our hormones, metabolism, and ability to get deep sleep. Start by turning your Wi-Fi off at night and stop wearing perfume. The name of the game is progress, not perfection. Perfume out of nowhere at the end of it. Fucking left field. I would love to be the copywriter that's assigned this, where you're just like, fucking shield. Okay, let's see what else you got. Let's see what other tenets we could learn from this guy who knows what he's talking about.
Would I have lower body?
I'm picking
I hardly ever wear shoes. What am I talking about? Why isn't it working for me?
But you gotta connect with the ground. You gotta be outside barefoot.
I mean, sometimes.
No, all the time.
Fuck. I have burrs in my yard. They're pointy little
Those
seeds.
will toughen you. Oh, wait. Did you mention seeds? Because seed oils, I know he mentioned that. You stay away from those seeds.
I love seeds.
All right, I didn't know he was running a whole like fake guru scam thing with like some like Eastern influences. I thought he was just saying, yo, take my pills and eat my liver and you'll be big like me, little man. I thought it was some shit like that, but now this sounds like a whole like creepy thing.
What is a trend body? I've seen a couple of your videos and you talk about what people are on and you're like, this guy has a stereotypical trend body. And I'm like, desirable? Like what is trend? What trendable? How close did I come?
No, it's trenbolone.
Okay.
So basically this is like, it's considered one of the most androgenic of the steroids. So androgenic meaning like masculinizing essentially. So the more androgenic, typically the more like dry, grainy, and sort of like more tightly to in some situations, like trenbolone has a high affinity to bind to androgen receptors. So like there's this theory that because there's a denser amount of androgen receptors in the traps as well as the delts, that people who have like overly developed traps and delts relative to the rest of their body are probably abusing tren in some capacity. And typically it's really obvious in individuals that don't have good bodybuilding genetics because that one body part will overdevelop and then the rest of it will lag like significantly behind.
What are good bodybuilding genetics? Like what are some things we can
like
tell?
Anybody on the Mr. Olympia stage, you'll see they have every body part is massive, first of all, obviously, but there's no like obviously everyone has their genetic lagging thing. Some people have like shitty calves, some people have shitty whatever, but it's like just the way the muscle is, it's like round as opposed to like it's like getting big is one thing, but then having an aesthetic muscle is another. Like it's hard to, it's a objective.
Like your muscle insertions, is that what that's called?
Yeah. Like it's sort of an individual question too, right? Because what looks good to you, to another guy, you might be like, that looks like shit. Like a lot of people on my channel, they're in the fitness industry niche. So that's why they're so like hypercritical of physiques. And that's also sort of why I'm like, I try to like bridge the gap between still being in the fitness industry, because that's where a lot of my followers are from, as well as having the objective, perspective of somebody who's just, I'm a guy who goes to the gym sometimes. So the trend look is more so obvious in somebody who has not good muscle building genetics and has unproportionally developed traps and delts compared to the rest of them, and has like a very grainy, like androgenic type look. It's kind of hard to explain, but typically the flagship marker is like, like if you look at Hugh Jackman, you'll note his physique is like crazy vascular, really like protruding, almost 3D delts. The traps are much more developed relative to his first couple rolls, and he's obviously gained muscle everywhere, but you look at his back or his arms or any other body part on him, and it's just like complete lack of development relative to his traps.
What movie was that in? Just so I could see.
Wolverine.
Yeah, like all the Wolverines from like 1 to the last one.
Oh,
as far as the one that he
does not help me. I don't know how many.
Oh, you mean like the one where he had
the one where you're saying like, oh, his delts and his traps were huge and his arms look weird. Like
let me pull
I'd like to see an example of that.
Huge.
Also, another thing, are there any single straight women at bodybuilding competitions, or just gay men and supportive wives?
No, it's it's kind of an interesting culture, because it's like just a whole bunch of fucking gearheads pretty much in a room, and they're all kind of like, women are getting with guys who are bodybuilders, and bodybuilders are getting with chicks who take gear and step on stage as physique competitors and whatnot, and they're mostly straight, I would say, to be honest. But
how's that picture? Does that fit what you're looking for?
Let's see. Yeah, exactly.
So I look at this guy, I see a massive chest, well done deltoids, even good biceps, but forearms that look like they belong to someone else almost.
His arms, to me,
his biceps and triceps are like, look at his left arm. Like, you should get some like girth from a large tricep over there. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like a stick relative to the rest of his upper torso.
Like his chest is enormous.
Yeah, so
shoulders enormous, bicep, tricep.
Forearms are jumping out at me. Like, if you lifted that much weight, why didn't your forearms get some benefit?
Yeah, that's part of it is genetic, but part of it is just like the way his body responds to hormones and the hormones in question, in my opinion. And that's sort of like, some of it is just sort of speculation at the end of the day, but it's based on, I've been through this, bodybuilding niche. I've been to competitions. I used to compete myself, and I've seen guys with shitty genetics who just like abuse the shit out of tren, and they have this very obvious look where it's just like Hugh Jackman, when he peaked for that role, just like cranked, delts, trapped, and then his arm is like a stick almost compared to the rest of him. So
yeah, damn. Yeah, you have a very well trained eye for this. Obviously, I wouldn't have picked up on that.
yeah, so.
Obviously I wouldn't.
Is it when they look really dry, when it looks like there's not moist at all, and like when I look at his belts and
he
stuff,
looks thirsty.
He looks thirsty. Yeah, he looks like he's on a weight cut. Like the thing that I'm most familiar with is watching fighters pre-weight cut, mid-weight cut, at the weigh-ins, and then when they hydrate back up, you know, for fight night. And he looks like he's mid-weight cut, and maybe like
he water depleted for that shot, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's his name? Who played Superman?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Yeah, he water depleted for that bathtub scene in Witcher.
Yeah. And he was I don't know if it really did him any favors though, because he just wasn't lean enough for that to really be any helpful level of adding cuts to his physique, because he's just like a bulky dude and he just bulks up for most of his roles. I feel like to him, that's one of the individuals I thought was natural, just based on his progression is very like when he gains weight, it's like a parallel increase of fat and muscle. It's not like he just unproportionally gains lean size like Chris Hemsworth for Thor, where he just exploded and he still has visible abs by the end of it, even though he gained 30 pounds.
Maybe you haven't seen the latest Avengers. That's a joke.
Which
he was
I know
fat.
where he looks like shit in that. Yeah. But I mean for the other ones. Yeah. But like Henry Cavill, yeah, he like gains weight, but it's like a proportional increase in fat and muscle to get that bigger look. And it's obvious in the shirtless scenes where he takes off his shirt and he has like, he's big objectively, but it's like he's like a bear almost, you know? He has that natural, like he's like 20% body fat almost. His face is just shredded though, because he's just genetically gifted in his fat distribution. So that's how I see it. And when he did the water deplete, he had like no separation in his abs at all. So
you know what action star I can tell is not doing anything he shouldn't be doing. He's not on anything. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal makes like 6 movies a year, and he's completely given up on any like his hair's fake. I think the goatee is fake at this point. He's 300 pounds. Like he doesn't run anymore. He doesn't even do the run.
I mean, he's a karate grandmaster though, right?
It's not karate. It's
Aikido.
It's Aikido.
Yeah. Have you ever seen those videos where he just fucking like slaps people off him and tosses them to the floor?
I have seen all of those videos, unfortunately. Yes. It's impressive.
Kyle's a bit of a scholar.
I'm probably wrong, but I watched your video on. I'm terrible with actors. Who played Apollo Creed? Yes.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. To me, he had capped deltoids and like a trend look, and you didn't agree.
He was a really on the fence guy that I probably could have leaned either way. It was more so based on the time frame of preparation. Me presuming he hadn't lifted prior. And, you know, when you look at some of these guys and their response, it's more so based on, have they ever trained before with weights too? Because there's something called newbie gains where you can get like steroid like results for your first year, even when you're natural, just because you haven't even been in a gym yet. So I try to take that all into consideration. And with him, it was really on the fence. And honestly, it could have gone either way. And that one was hard to tell, but he could have easily done something. The rest of them where I said they were natural, I'm like 99% sure on. But for him, I was like, I don't know.
You know what I think would be, and maybe you've already done it, I don't know, a good film. Like up until now, I've seen you do a lot of like individuals, like, this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. The movie Predator. Just the movie Predator, like from top to bottom, there's only like 2-3 skinny guys in that whole fucking movie. One of them Shane Black, and the other one's I don't know that actor's name.
That Asian woman,
like Rodriguez or something. Well, she's not Asian, but the lady for sure. She's not. Absolutely not. They're in South America, home of 0 Asians.
What am I thinking? I'm probably wrong.
Which movie are we talking about? Like
Predator. The original Predator.
1987?
Yes, absolutely. You got Jesse the Body Ventura, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've got the original Apollo Creed, the famous meme like handshake, or not really handshake. It's sort of like a no elbows down arm wrestle where Arnold's just like, "What's the matter, Dylan? Been pushing too many pencils." It's
Oh, is that the famous scene? It's like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
yeah. The
Looking
handshake
good.
that like blows up the fucking universe.
And they just have
He goes, "Looking good,
enormous
Dutch."
ripped forearms and biceps.
Yeah,
And
they do
they're
this
looking great.
mid-air like handshake arm wrestle thing where and like Apollo Creed's arm starts like going down and shaking. He's, "What's the matter, Dylan? You've been pushing too many pencils."
What movie is this?
Predator.
I've seen Predator. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
original one?
It's the greatest
Yeah.
action movie ever made, in my opinion. Jesse the Body Ventura was so jacked and so big that they immediately
Was I looking good in that movie?
He was looking
Before I
incredible.
started talking like
He had
this,
been down in the
and my
Baja.
brain went fully retarded.
He had been in the Baja pumping iron with the cartel. His arms are so big that they're actually bigger than Arnold's, and so immediately they write it into the movie that he gets some shrapnel wounds on his arm, and so they're bandaged for the rest of the film until his death scene, because they don't want his arms anywhere in the same scene as Arnold's arms.
That's
Good for Jesse Ventura. It's well, no, it's not even a shame. That's a funny guy. He's hilarious.
Yeah, I like Jesse Ventura. He's fun.
I was a Navy SEAL, as far as you know.
He was a Navy SEAL.
I know. I'm fucking around.
Yeah.
It's because people like to give him shit online for not being a Navy SEAL.
Speaking of giving shit online, I fact checked. Kyle's right. She's from Guatemala. I showed her picture though. She looks so Asian to me.
Filipino. Asians with the Mexican last names.
It's Guatemala. Like
Guatemala.
Guatemalan. I found it up, yeah. But yeah.
No, I'm from a different country, Guatemala.
The lost city of Guatemala.
The lost city of Guatemala.
Yeah, that's what
okay. What do you?
That's her most Asian angle.
If this is the picture, what he's using, you've won me over.
All right, I'll give you a different picture.
No, I'm saying she looks Asian there, definitely.
Yeah.
That's where
that's up in the air.
okay. Yeah. So
Sort
anyway,
of a mixed flavor. I don't know.
It's like 1/3 in that picture.
Yeah, right. Anyway, Kyle was right. I can see where I got to where I went though.
In any case, that's a movie full of just super jacked dudes, none of which look natural except for, I guess, Shane Black, and just super machismo mode. There's a scene where they all are pulling a rope together shirtless to stretch a tree down. So they're in this full Mr. Olympia flex mode, like back is flexed out, like everything. When Arnold gives like military commands, like sign language, it's always like, oh. And so this is like, they put up the fist to like, all right, everybody sit still.
If we're supposed to charge forward, I will do a full back squat.
Did you see Elon Musk in his like beach attire? Like,
yes, I saw a comment. Someone said he's built like a deep breath.
He's I think he's built like the founding fathers were. I like how I imagine like George
what is that?
Washington.
Where is he on a beach?
He's like all chest and rib cage and no legs and arms. He's like a cartoon character.
He's got a very odd body type.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's just like it's just what happens when you're.
There's one from behind that shows off better. This kind of looks normal.
Yeah, the side.
Yeah, that one looks more. I saw a couple that were like he looked a little like Dr. Robotnik.
Look how pale he is. That's the real interesting thing.
That's crazy too.
Yeah, there is something up with his rib cage.
He's very girthy.
He does.
He's like an egg. He's like an egg on.
These also aren't the picture that I was thinking of.
Is that his lady? Probably. I don't know what to say. I don't know if he's married or whatever.
It would be sad to be that rich because no one ever is gonna like you for like who you are. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Does anyone like anyone for who they are anyway? It's all who we are is just an amalgamation of all the things, all the positive attributes we have weighed against all the negative attributes we have anyway, and then we take the sum of that and say, yeah, that'll do. Like the fact that this guy just happens to really blow it out of the water with his money doesn't mean that someone isn't going to be like, Elon, he's fucking hilarious, especially when we're on his jet. He cracks me the fuck up.
You have to weigh it out. Like Bill Cosby raped 167 people, but
true.
I learned a lot from those episodes with Theo, where they learned about careers and taking responsibility for your actions. And so you have to measure that out and go, okay, what's the And that's what society, and that's what the crux of this Bill Cosby thing has been.
Chris Benoit was my favorite wrestler, and he killed his family.
Yeah,
he did, but that was because of CTE, not because he was like a murderer.
It was.
Well, strictly he murdered.
Like I like to believe that the CTE like allowed him to be who he really was, who he always wanted to be, and that's a murderer who kills
unlocked
his
potential.
I think he
unlocked his potential. Like what if CTE was like that limitless pill?
All right, at the cost of not being able to read anymore and getting extremely upset at mild inconveniences.
Give me a hammer. I'm going limitless.
Going limitless. That was a good movie. I actually
that movie. I always think about that movie. It's like so perfectly timed, and sometimes this happens. Every now and then, a movie comes out and is like the perfect guys movie for the men at the time, just like 300 was. 300 is a perfect example of that too. When 300 came out, every dude was like, this is a fucking movie, bro.
Yeah.
Like everyone. And like when Limitless came out, it just happened to come out at a time where every guy was like, I would love a pill that made me fuck more women and be super smart and rich. I kind of need that. I'm going to go check out this movie. Like, I feel like Bradley Cooper really made a mark on men as an actor after that movie. Cause like every guy I know has seen Limitless and liked Limitless.
I've never seen it.
You never saw it?
Never seen it.
Bro,
you would like
ultimate
it.
Limitless guy.
I know what it's about, so like I don't need to see it. Like I know exactly. Like I bet without having seen it, I could describe the entire plot. Like I know what's gonna happen.
No, you don't. You couldn't possibly guess. It's so complicated. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The guy takes the pill, he gets too smart, then people begin to be suspicious because this former retard's not very smart.
When you were like saying that, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, what kind of take did he get from the movie? I was like, because it is pretty straightforward. I thought you were gonna have some whole deeper meaning that I missed the meaning of the movie the whole time. I was like, go on.
No, it was about how you need to be a better liar if you're going to get away with stealing genius pills. You'd think the genius pill would make you more sensitive to not like overdoing your genius, right?
Yeah.
But I guess not. Yeah, I like Bradley. Christian Bale's my favorite actor. I'll watch anything Christian Bale's in. I love that guy.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal.
So it was always Leonardo DiCaprio for me, but Jake Gyllenhaal is absolutely on that level now.
He is killing it, man.
Like Jake Gyllenhaal is really like, I'm very happy when I see him in things.
Ever since Nightcrawler, I feel like that changed him. And like, Nightcrawler was the first movie I watched with him where I was blown away with like him.
Donnie Darko. You've seen Donnie Darko?
Donnie Darko.
I forgot I was him so long ago.
I saw him in Nightcrawler, and then like it was either before or after I saw him in Enemy. You guys ever seen Enemy? Where he's playing two different characters. He's playing like it's complicated, but he's playing two different characters that are vastly different personality wise, but it's him. You know what I mean? Like in the same fucking movie. Like the dude's amazing.
See, that's risky because like that worked out. But then there was that movie I was looking, because I also like Tom Hardy a lot. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And there was that movie where he was like twins with himself, and he played the non-glasses twin and then the glasses twin, and he was like a British bully gangster.
Like that?
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't very good.
I did like the one scene where he beat those men with a hammer.
See, that's the one I thought of, where the one with the glasses leaves, and he's like, oh, every one of you blokes gonna be bleeding on the floor. A few minutes, you'll see. My retired brother's coming back. Fuck you,
Tommy. Fuck Tommy Andrews. Yeah, I said so. And he's like, and I love that. He's pretty sweet. He's a good actor. He's like, you won't mind if I defend myself, will you? And you look, he's got brass knuckles, and they're like, wait a minute. And he just immediately starts taking him out while his brother comes in with 2 fucking hammers. That was the peak of the entire movie, was that scene. Agreed. It's the only scene that's worth watching in that movie.
Because like so many other ones, like there were ham-handed twin moments.
Dude, Tom Hardy's had some stinkers. Remember when he did the Al Capone movie where he's shitting on himself?
I got probably 40 minutes into that and was like, at no point we're flashing back to the interesting parts of Al Capone's life. Like, why no one is interested in someone because they had neurosyphilis. They're interested because of all those years before where he ran the Chicago mob and was one of the most influential people of the 20th century. Like I don't care once he's like grizzly going, hey, what do you want? You my granddaughter. And they're like, that's not your granddaughter. That's someone else's.
Why are you even care? We're in Chicago.
And his voice the whole time is like, it's like one of those voices that as you're listening, you're like, oh, that right there, that's a fake voice. As clear as day. That's as forced as I ever seen. There's a bag of Ludens right next to him. Like it's fucking ridiculous.
But then again, when he's what's the movie where he's the world's most Britain's most dangerous prisoner or whatever? When he's got
Bronson, that was great.
Bronson. That was my introduction to
him.
him.
For that one.
Yeah, knocked out of the park there. It's great. And
that was my introduction to him and Bronson.
And I love him as Bane. He's
he honestly, he was better, in my opinion. He was better than Leo in The Revenant. He stole the show.
I hated him for that. That's for sure. I didn't like his character.
That
character, so the story of Hugh Glass that the Revenant is based on is apparently even more ridiculous than what you saw there, because before he did, so a lot of that's like shifted around. The Indian son thing, I think that's all horse shit, and like them hurting his son, so therefore is of course all horse shit. But before any of that had happened, he had been kidnapped by pirates on the sea and was like a prisoner on their ship, and then that ship shipwrecked. Like and him and his buddy make it ashore, and they are taken captive by Indians, some awful tribe, I don't remember which, that are like fucking cannibals. And so they torture his friend to death by taking pine, like strips of pine wood and stabbing it into his body all over and lighting them afire, which sounded like resinous pine needles or something. And they burn him alive, essentially. And then they go to burn him alive, and he like produces, I don't remember what color it was, but like some green dye or blue dye. Like he's like, oh, I've got this. And they're so blown away by green dye, I guess, that they were like, do you want to marry my daughter? And so he marries the chief's daughter. And I always thought, like, dude, why didn't you pull out that green dye before they burned your boy alive and be like, yeah, we're a tag team. We make the dye together. like,
we're the dye boys.
We're the dye boys.
I mean, it was probably a smart move where he's like, well, there's only one daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up marrying the chief's daughter, and like that all happened before the bear attack.
But he wasn't a diamond, and so the chief was undoubtedly like, now that you have married my daughter, you will return to the white man and bring back many green dye packets. And he's like, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So much green dye.
Dude, first abs. Yes. Gotta go back to England though, because it's all there. Like, like that is surprising. Like, I guess dye would have been mind blowing back in the day because they were like
colors because
they had indigo. I've watched the History Channel. Indigo.
Yeah, depending on like where you live in the world, you had like there were some colors you just wouldn't have been able to do, right? Like I don't know what makes blue and green and yellow and purple, but there's some colors that they just didn't have, and this was blowing their minds.
Yeah, just what's available to you around you. Like I saw a thing on like probably Reddit or whatever. It was like up until like however many years ago, the ability to eat like a pineapple, a banana, and an apple in the same day would be physically impossible.
Yeah.
You'd have to like have
be able to go around the world.
Yeah, we forget like how absurd the king of a great country a couple hundred years ago could not have made such a thing happen. He couldn't have sent his fastest ships out and like they'd have had to chip ice from somewhere and like have pineapples on ice on ships for weeks and weeks.
If like the king of France was like, I want some apples, they'd be like, okay, well, we're in
next
France.
Year. Right?
We scoured the kingdom. They're not here. Well, I guess. Well, how about next? I hear next season's the year 1409. That's when the apple. They got this new one called Red Delicious, not mealy, not shitty. Like,
yeah, you couldn't do it. Oh, that's the other thing, of course. Like the pineapple of then was probably some fucking ball sack of a fruit you wouldn't want to eat anywhere.
Yeah, bananas had seeds in them. Blech.